What's up, guys, and welcome back to the Life to Dance podcast. I am your host, Trey Culata. If you are new here, welcome, and thank you, as always, for pressing play and spending time with me as I unravel that crazy thing we call the human mind and try to help you figure out and help me figure out what we're doing here, how to live our most authentic lives, and be our most authentic selves, because it's all about authenticity, baby. Let's live this life to its fullest. So what are we talking about today? We are talking about, as we round out our whole spiritual spring cleaning series, I'm hoping that everybody out there is feeling refreshed, renewed, inspired to start implementing some of these new little techniques and habits and skills that I've been sprinkling in throughout the month of April. And that being said, I wanted to kind of end it on a cautionary note. And not really a bad cautionary note, but just something to be aware of, because I want you to beware of the crows. Because inevitably, anytime you try to make some type of positive change in your life, there is going to be someone close to you that feels threatened, that you are changing and or evolving past a point where they happen to be. I don't know why this happens. But it's just human nature, because again, as we've discussed in other podcasts, we tend to cling to our identities. And when somebody comes around and is shining a light on a whole new perspective, people are afraid of what they don't understand. And also, people are afraid of change. It could be any number of things. So we're going to beware of the crows, which are the haters, the naysayers, and the people trying to pick through our gardens. Last year, I had magpies come through and completely annihilate the seeds in my garden before they even had a chance to sprout. So fuck those guys. It's those are the people and energies we are trying to avoid. And why should you care about this? And why should you be aware of this? Because here's the thing. Have you ever had a conversation with someone about something that you're working on? Or let's say, you got a new goal that you're trying to pursue or something, and you can just tell by the look on their face that they kind of don't believe that you're going to do it. And an asterisk to that is that if you are one of those people that does not follow through on your commitments, then please do not expect anyone in your social circle, whether that's family, friends, or otherwise, coworkers, to give a shit about what you're doing. And to you, I would advise to just keep your mouth shut, because I too was that person. Being the natural, I guess, I don't know if it's just my big Aquarius energy or what. I live in the clouds. I am a fucking dreamer, okay? And I have been on this pursuit of entrepreneurship for so long. 20 years or so. And I think I've skipped around to so many things and the next best thing and the next idea, and I was not always great at following through. So if you're anything like me and you have a track history of kind of jumping from one thing to the next, just don't go blabbing about it. Wait until you have proven that you have done the things before you start discussing it with your friends, because all they're going to do is poke holes and remind you of, remember the time when you did this or you did that and blah, blah, blah. Better to just not even bring it up, because chances are they probably won't even go there with you anymore. They'll probably just talk about you behind your back, which we don't really fucking want that either. Not that we should care, but that's the thing. When you should care, when you're constantly around, maybe not even necessarily constantly. It's just, if you're on a spiritual journey or you're trying to set out on a new goal to try and transform yourself, even if it's like one small little tiny habit like we talked about at the beginning of the month. If somebody feels threatened by that, what do you do? What do you do? Because again, for whatever reason, and I think a really good example of this is like if somebody in a social circle that parties together and drinks together decides that all of a sudden they're not going to drink, I feel like it makes everybody else feel uncomfortable, at least for a while. And then it makes the person feel uncomfortable because they feel like, they're making their friends feel uncomfortable. And it's this kind of vicious cycle. And we just have to throw all that shit out the window. So I think it's important to just establish boundaries. And if somebody wants to naysay or try and pick holes through your dream or your journey or whatever, I say to you, flip the script. All right? Ask them what they're working on. Hey, what are you working on right now? How close are you to accomplishing that goal that we talked about that you were working on at the beginning of the year? And it's not necessarily to be malicious, because here's the thing. If they are close to accomplishing a thing, or if they're in the middle of something interesting that they're working towards, then my next question to them would be, wonderful. How did you do that? How were you inspired to keep working on the goal? Especially if you're somebody like me who has a tendency to follow the shiny and jump to the next thing because you're not getting instant gratification. Thank God I found real estate, but because I happened to fall in love with it. But a lot of us are still out there trying to figure it out. And that's another thing. Don't be so hard on yourself if you are one of those people that have jumped around, because it takes courage and it takes experimentation. I can tell you from firsthand experience to figure out what it is you truly want. And at least you have the courage to try new things and to keep trying new things versus just falling in line and settling for something that doesn't make you happy or only makes you kind of happy. We all deserve to, as I said at the beginning of the podcast, live our most authentic lives. And if that takes, 20 years of experimentation like it did for me before I finally accidentally, found what my passion is, who fucking cares? Who fucking cares? Who fucking cares? I think that should just be the chant, right? If somebody's just sitting there trying to poke holes in your shit or naysay or drag you down or make you, because the reason why we have to care about this is because I don't want anybody deterring you or causing you to start doubting yourself or second guessing yourself. Because that's the worst feeling, isn't it? When you're like, shit, maybe I shouldn't have, decided to go all in on this thing, or maybe I shouldn't have, quit my job, or maybe I shouldn't have broke up with that person. It's like, or quit drinking. You know what I mean? It could be any number of different things. But whatever that is for you, I don't want you to second guess yourself. Because if you've been doing all these steps that we've been talking about throughout the month properly, the source has shown a light onto the things that you need to change and the things that you want to become. And there is absolutely nothing fucking wrong with that, because the source only reveals truth and it only resonates with truth. So follow your gut. And as I mentioned in the last podcast, just keep going. Even if you fall off the horse, you just have to keep going. And the naysayers can, it's like, okay, let's follow up on this conversation in 6 months. What are you doing that's so spectacular that you feel like you can poke holes in my dreams and my, me living my authentic life? You know what I mean? Like, who the fuck are these people thinking that they even have a place to say this shit? So, and some people mean well, don't get me wrong, but they can take their meaning well thoughts and emotions and just kind of, buzz off, in my opinion anyway. So stay the course, guys. Beware of the crows. Flip the script on them. If they try to come at you and neg you, you know what I mean? No, we're not having that. We've got this beautiful bubble of belief now around us. We are cultivating belief in ourselves. We are cultivating predominant thoughts of confidence and joy and all that good stuff. So I'm going to end it there, guys. If you have any questions, if you have any comments, what do you think you should do if somebody starts negging you on your journey to transformation and prosperity. Tell me in the comments below. If you got anything out of this, I would ask you a great big favor and just like it and share it. That way I know that I'm producing stuff that you guys want to watch. And you could also potentially help a friend or a family member, gain some perspective. Maybe if they're negging you, you can send this to them so they know that they're the ones that need to change their perspective. So anyhow, I love you all. Until next time, let's dance.